the grace of humility arose. But humility, and I contemplate humility a lot, as I contemplate grace a lot, as I contemplate kindness and tenderness a lot, and I contemplate surrender a lot, because these are the qualities that I think really define a depth of awakening, a depth of living and awakening, a depth of living naturally and directly. And humility is a big one. But you see, you can't really know humility from the mind. You can't really know humility as a philosophy. You can talk about it endlessly. It doesn't mean anything. You can philosophize about it, read books about it, but it doesn't really mean anything, because like many of these beautiful qualities, to be known, they have to be felt, they have to be lived, they have to be experienced. And for humility really to be experienced, ask what needs to happen. Something needs to break open. Some part of self, or the whole self, the self itself, the strategist self, the aggrandized self, the controlling self, the self that believes itself to be a self, has to somehow come undone. And that's not easy. Because if you think about that, the implications of that, what it really means, you kind of see that we can't do that to ourselves. Why would you do that? How would you do that? That's why people say, well, how? Yeah, that is a problem. Because you can't do it to yourself. You can't smash your own ego open, right? You can't humiliate yourself so that something opens. It's not going to happen. So something else needs to happen. Usually a teacher of some sort. A teacher who has no investment in you as an ego, or a process that you put yourself into that strips you away, that has no interest in you as an ego and knows something deeper. Love, I'm going up a very steep hill. Forgive me for my out of breathness. 7,500 feet. A teacher, a process. And of course, you can be humbled by life through an event that takes the ground away from you. And this is powerful. An accident, the death of a loved one, a loss of career, a break, a snap, a crack in the door, a crack in the self. And there, inside that crack, if it's your time, you'll see a moment of grace, a moment of humility. If you see that, if you find that, feed that. For something has broken open. But let's be clear. The self does not give up easily. It's designed for its survival. It's got your best interests at heart. You as a natural, open being that it doesn't know. It's got you at heart, and it and you as a natural, open human being have learned that the self is sacred. The self is sacrosanct. And it will reform and it will come together and it will say, be very scared of the self coming undone, for that way lies madness, and that way lies terrible trouble, such vulnerability, we can't go there. It's too scary. Let's not do that. And there it is. We want it, we don't want it. We want the opening, but we don't know how to live in such an open, vulnerable, true state. So we pull back, and the self reforms, and then we start the ping pong. The ping pong game. The coming undone must be courted. Like a lover. Like an ecstatic, Rumi-esque lover courts the beloved. This is the only way to soften the hard shell of the ego, is to, after a glimpse maybe, or just an innate knowing, or an opening through a teacher or a process or grace of some event, is to then court it as a conscious act of seeing and feeling the ego self, the righteous one, rise up again and again and again and say, no, not this time. I'm in love with the beloved. I'm in love with openness. I'm in love with that which is beyond the self. I'm in love with something that cannot even be named. I'm in love with this soft tenderness. It gives something that the hard shell cannot give. And I'm in love with that. Until I soften again and again and again, until softening and humility and kindness and grace are just natural. They just become it. They just become really quite normal. And the magic that results is exquisite and extraordinary and ordinary but beautiful. And there is a kind of directness in life where the dream is over and direct living starts to take place. Just direct. This awareness, this existence of as a separate individual has somehow just fallen open, and now there's just a natural way of moving in life. It's not higher, it's not lower, it's not more than, it's not less than, it's not special, it's not special. It has got no egoic kind of definition in it. It just is.